Hi guys, this is gsno.com and I'm here with the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip5, which has the biggest novelty, the larger external screen, which is now a 3.4 incher instead of the 1.9 incher of the predecessor. Yes, it's a pretty bright screen, so much so that I'm going to decrease its brightness to a more decent level. Extra features, full screen apps and more, but some things remain unchanged from the predecessor. The same camera, the same battery, and at the same time it does have a gapless design and a brand new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 for Galaxy CPU. Priced at $999, the device, well, gets our review right now. Samsung Galaxy Z Flip5 comes in colors like mint, this one here, graphite, as well as cream and lavender. There are a few extra that have appeared recently. I mentioned before the gapless design is like this. There's no gap between the two sides. It's slimmer than before, 15.1 millimeters instead of 15.9 like the predecessor had. It's quite comfy and easy to use. It fits in any pocket, any jeans, any purse, anything like that. And it's got IPX8 certification, meaning it can take some water, even being dunked in water. It's got a solid build. It's more of a long and narrow handset, not exactly a wide phone, which is nice for, well, vertical scrolling if you're into that in a variety of applications. It's also well built with a special strong armor aluminum, and it's got a plastic screen protection for the internal foldable screen and the outer Gorilla Glass protection for the, well, external one. I should probably also mention that the device has a brand new hinge. This is Gorilla Glass 2, by the way. Okay, so that's pretty much it. A comfy build, a square frame helping with the grip, and yes, you can indeed see the crease of the screen here, but more on a darker background, not exactly on a lighter one. It's here. The crease hasn't changed much from the Z Flip 4. Now, as far as the screen is concerned, this is a 6.7-inch foldable dynamic AMOLED 2X with a resolution of 2640 over 1080 pixels and a plastic protection. It's got 120 Hz refresh rate and at the same time HDR10 plus support. It promises a huge level of brightness up to 1750 nits, and guess what? It delivers. This one, external one, is the Super AMOLED panel. Let's see if we can unlock it via face. Yes, this is a Super AMOLED 3.4-inch screen with basically a flat or rather square aspect, 720 over 748 pixels, Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and I think it's time to actually address the experience here. When I say experience, I have prepared the YouTube video for you to watch, and we have it here. Okay, this is the clip and this is the quality of the screen. It's a quality AMOLED which is very bright and has a wide array of colors. It's also got wide view angles, deep blacks, and it's very satisfying when watching videos or playing games. Now at the same time you can also use YouTube on the external screen, so yeah. You have here the media output, but you can also do full YouTube if you want to, by going here in this area and watching a clip. You can also watch Netflix here, by the way. Okay, so that's pretty much it, and now I think it's time to discuss other features here, or better said, other tests. We measured the brightness and achieved a huge level of 1287 lux, which makes this the brightest phone we've ever tested. It's achieved with a special extra brightness option. Otherwise, it would have been at 742 lux. That special option is available here. It's called extra brightness, and it's achieved, well, in full sunlight. So basically this is the brightest phone on the market right now, at least according to our tests. Now the external screen, well, before we get to that, the Flip 4 had 530 lux units, and other rivals, well, reached similar values. So this one is basically a record setter. It beats the Motorola Razr 40 Ultra, the Huawei P50 Pocket. It beats all of them. So yeah, pretty impressive if you ask me, but only with the special option on. Okay, now going further here, we're going to have to speak about the CPU, and I'm not sure if I installed IDA or not. Yes, it's here, IDA, and we have the CPU here, Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. It's a special 4 Galaxy version with a higher clock rate of 3.36 GHz, Adreno 740 GPU, and at the same time we're getting here 8 gigs of RAM and 128 or 256 gigabytes of storage. Actually 256 in this case. UFS 4.0, there's no microSD and there's no lag, but what I did encounter was some throttling, so let me just show you. If you go to the gallery, go to the screenshots, we have a throttling app test. It's this one here, and the throttling app reveals that the performance drop is at around 40% for the bulk of the test, about 10 minutes after the 15 one, so be advised. The games run fine, there's no overheating, so yeah, that's not a problem. We also did a bunch of benchmarks, which we have here. We start off with Antutu 10, here we go, 5th placed, below the Zenfone 10 and Xiaomi 13 Ultra, above the OnePlus Nord 3 and Honor Magic VS. In Antutu 9, you should definitely know that we surpassed the Motorola Moto Razr 40 Ultra, but we are below the Galaxy S23 Ultra. And in Geekbench 6, in the multi-core subtest, we're just above the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V and Huawei P60 Pro. We're also surpassing the Motorola Razr 40 Ultra again and Huawei Mate X3. We're below the Z Fold5. And when it comes to gaming, we have Slingshot here. We have the Slingshot... let's see, 3D Mark, Wildlife Extreme and Unlimited. In Unlimited we surpassed a few flagships from this year with the highest performing CPU. And in this one here we beat the iPhone 14 Pro, which is a pretty strong feat since it's still a powerful CPU. Now when it comes to powerful phone with a powerful CPU. When it comes to the temperature, we achieved 41.7 degrees Celsius. That happens after running Antutu, and I would say it's decent. It's higher than we would have wanted, but still pretty decent. When it comes to the battery, you can see here 3700 mAh, which is basically the same as the Flip 4 with the same extras. By the way, the Motorola Razr 40 Ultra has a 3800 unit and the Oppo Find N2 Flip 4400 or 4300, so you can do better. The charging takes the charging supports 25 watts wired, 15 watts wireless, 4.5 watts reverse wireless charging is also available here. Okay, now when it comes to the battery, this is what we achieved in video playback, 18 hours and 46 minutes, which is a pretty solid result. Now with this value we achieved when it comes to video playback, we surpassed the Galaxy Z Flip5 by 4 hours, and we also surpassed the Motorola Razr 40 Ultra, which scores only 13 hours, so yeah, that's fine. Also the Huawei P50 Pocket was beaten. We're below the Asus Zenfone 10 and the OnePlus 11. Things aren't as impressive in PC Mark, continuous usage. We're at around 9 hours and 33 minutes, which is underwhelming. It's below the Moto Razr 40 Ultra, the Razr 40, the Z Flip 4, which had 11 hours, so at least it beats the Huawei P50 Pocket. The charging takes a long time, 1 hour and 31 minutes, but after 30 minutes you should be at about 50%. There's no charger in the box, and there are a few optimization features in these settings. When it comes to acoustics, we have a stereo setup. This is speaker number 1 from the bottom, and the earpiece is the one at the top. There are 3 holes here for that purpose. Hope you can see them. Okay, so we have some Dolby Atmos settings, Dolby Atmos for gaming, some equalizer setting, and 10 custom channels. Okay, so you get the idea. I mean, the voice is pretty powerful in songs. There's a lot of vibration for the case. The guitar is a bit distorted if you're listening to metal. The bass is just okay. The high notes are privileged here. The button speaker is doing the hard work. And if you tune with Dolby, you get rid of the distortion that definitely appears in rock songs. It's not as impressive as the Fold 5, if I'm being honest, and generally not very impressive overall, especially volume-wise. We did a bunch of decibel meter tests, and we have them here. Now we have 78.4 decibels at the top and 81.6 decibels at the bottom with the acoustic sample test. This one is below Z Flip 4, it's the equal of the Huawei P50 Pocket, it's below Motorola Razr 40 Ultra. When it comes to gaming, let's see here. We're at 97.1 decibels, it's just okay. It's, I would say, below the Z Flip 4 and at the same time above the Huawei P50 Pocket and also below the Oppo Find N2 Flip. Also, it's almost 10 decibels below the Moto Razr 40 Ultra, which is much louder. Now when it comes to the cameras, this cutout here is for a 10 megapixel selfie camera with 4K capture and f2.2 aperture, but you can also take selfies with the main camera here using the external screen. There are 2 12 megapixel sensors here and an LED flash. This is the same camera setup as the predecessor. 12 megapixel main camera f1.8 and optical image stabilization, dual pixel phase detection autofocus, then 12 megapixel ultra wide camera f2.2 aperture and 120 degree angle of capture. LED flash, 4K 60 frames per second capture, and pretty much the same options you saw on the Fold 5 and also on the Galaxy S23 series. These are the special options. We got Pro Video, Single Take, there's a night mode, food, panorama, super slow-mo, hyperlapse, portrait video and director's view. There's a special stabilization option here, this one, super steady, and you can definitely rely on the external screen by pressing this button here for a cover screen preview of your shots. And of course, you can also do the flex mode thingy like this and prop up the device on a wall if you're taking a photo in a vacation, and use this gesture to take the photo. Okay, and of course, the external screen with a double press of the power button triggers the camera, and there you have it. Now it's time to address the gallery. We have here a gallery of shots, and we have a huge 500 pictures. Not sure which one I can start with. So yeah, actually I know which one. So let's take them one by one. I attended a show called Summerwell. It's a local concert in Bucharest. But before that, I actually took the phone out for a stroll. It was a very hot day, and in spite of that, the overexposure and oversaturation weren't very serious. They were within margins. Pretty nice close-ups of flowers, very accurate focus this time around, so I can't complain very much in that regard. The selfies are pretty natural. I'm seeing a lot of texture which I enjoy for the beard and the face, and rest assured we also have selfies without the glasses. So you can see details and texture, so those are pretty fine. I also have other selfies here, which may be more clear, a bit sleepy here. I would say almost on par with the S23 series. I wouldn't put it that high, best said on par with S21 or S22. So yeah, selfies are pretty well covered. We also took a bunch of well, portrait shots, but those were the better set taken during the Summerwell show, so I actually have to dig a bit for them. Okay, so the bokeh is applied perfectly, as you can see, but if you apply the studio option, your ears will be a bit cut. Okay, so jumping ahead again, this time I want to show you some colors. I'm definitely loving the blue hues and the reds here, and definitely loving the fact that the vegetation doesn't suffer from oversaturation, overexposure. Okay, buildings are captured with a very nice texture, and the blue of the sky is rendered in a pretty natural manner, so there's nothing for me to complain about here. And the ultra-wide doesn't mess up the colors very much, just a tiny bit, making them a bit more washed out. We even tested the zoom. I heard great things about it thanks to AI. This is something like 2x. No, actually this is regular. This is ultra wide, which is not half bad. This is 3x. This is 5x. Still pretty decent. And this is too much, something like 10x. So yeah. Next, texture of buildings. So if you're into tourism, you'll definitely be happy with the results. So you're wondering if it's a jump from the Z Flip 4. Not exactly. I mean, this is a gorgeous shot of a lemonade. Excellent details, clarity, and colors. These are exactly as I perceive them. And these are food photos of a dish containing chicken and rice. Be advised, if you activate the food photo mode, the colors are way too intense, nowhere near the real ones. These are the actual real ones, but I love the texture. So yeah, food photos, check out, and well, monuments also check out. These are daytime shots, and we also have them here from the festival. I tried some close-ups with flowers with a decent focus. This was in the forest, closer to 6 p.m, so less light. I captured people spraying squirt guns on each other, and you can see moving subjects caught in a pretty nice manner without a blur. A variety of people walking around, lots of lights, a stressful scenario for a phone, which was pretty well handled by this handset. It's definitely a festival phone, a vacation phone, what have you. I'm pretty happy with the things it captured during the Summerwell concert series. Of course, a bunch of crazy selfies are included. Once again, the vegetation caught me by surprise. I've come to expect oversaturation and overexposure from foldables nowadays. Not in this case, and if it happens, it's pretty rare. Those have been the, well, daytime shots, and I'm happy with what you achieved here, but I'll be honest, it's only in the night time that you can feel a jump from the Z Flip 4. We have here these shots, these food photos. Sadly, some of them require the flash to get a proper idea, on account of the fact that, well, there wasn't much light at the table when we were eating. This is something like fries and cheddar and jalapenos. This is something like cold cuts in bread. So yeah, when it comes to food photos, you'll be happy. I was also very happy, actually hugely happy, with what we achieved during a concert for a band called Roixop, if you know them. There was a variety of lights, strobe lights, dead in front of us, so the camera handled that like a champ. Definitely a festival phone. Even if you're closer or further away, you'll be happy with the result. And even with ultra-wide, things look mighty impressive. By the way, you can apply night mode to ultra-wide. And it's just not just a one-off occurrence, it occurred throughout the festival, and the results were satisfying and postable on social media. So yes, I do feel a bump up from the Z Flip 4 to the Z Flip 5 when it comes to night capture and, well, festival capture. We have a lot of photos here and all of them are satisfying, even though the scenarios were pretty tough. Now let's talk about videos. Okay, so we do have plenty of videos to show you, and I'm afraid some of them may trigger some copyright because they're, well, from bands. I can definitely show you this one here. It's a stabilization test and it's quite spot on. So yeah, here we go. This is a stabilization test with a special steady mode on, and I was walking very fast. As you can tell, the stabilization is great here, and it's not the only attribute of the phone. I was actually surprised to see that the colors are very nicely rendered here. I cannot complain about oversaturation or overexposure in spite of my expectations that it would not deliver. Well, it actually does deliver. A lot of clarity and the level of detail is higher than I expected. I usually have lower expectations for foldables compared to the excellent S23 series. Now I have more here. I have this one here from the festival from Summerwell. Lovely blue colors. It's a later time in the evening, towards 6 or 7 p.m. But there are a lot of details here, clarity and so forth. We also tested the zoom here. Up to 3x it's fine. Other than that, you definitely experience some noise. But at least the zooming process is smooth. Let's see what else we have here. I have a selfie video, I remember that much. This is it. Walking through a tunnel. If you have enough light, it should be satisfying. Otherwise, there's a bit of noise when you don't have light. But you can definitely cut a vlog from this. And stabilization is excellent, I have to say. And so are the details. Okay, so more daytime shots. This one here, beautiful scenery and a church in the town. Excellent lighting, colors and mood. The zoom is not alone. It's also accompanied by audio zoom, which is best felt during the concert. But once again, copyright may be a problem. So in the end, very satisfying video, very close to the Galaxy S series. And this is Roixop, the band at Summerwell. Handles strobe light in excellent manner, lovely zoom, lovely details, and the microphone was spot on. This is not exactly hard to capture. Synth songs and also electronic music songs aren't difficult to capture by microphones. Well, hip-hop is, and we also have a sample of hip-hop here, actually grime, and the bass was spot on, very well captured. So definitely a festival phone if you need it for that. And another sample here. This is an artist called Saint Levant. Not familiar with him. He combines Oriental music and R&B and indie. Very interesting. That's pretty much it. So I'm more impressed than anything by the video capture, the selfies, and the night mode. On the connectivity front, we have 5G, Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3, GPS, GLONASS, Galileo, and BDS, NFC, and a USB-C 3.2 port at the bottom with OTG. The calls were loud and clear, and I have here a speed test with a result that will definitely satisfy you. So we go here, and these are the results we achieved. 719 megapsecond in download and 822 megapsecond in upload in Wi-Fi, which is very impressive. Software-wise, we're dealing with Android 13 with One UI 5.1.1 on top. Everybody's wondering what the features of the cover screen are. First of all, let me unlock it with my face, if I can manage to, or use the pin, or the side button, the fingerprint scanner here, which is, by the way, pretty accurate and spot on. Okay, so this one offers you notifications, quick settings, your customizable clock face, so to say, calendar, weather. This is the calls you're going to receive. This is quick contacts. This is the alarm section. This is a timer. This is the other type of timer, so there are two of them. These are the steps from S Health. This is smart things. You can control your vacuum cleaner, your TV set, your what have you, a lot of appliances. We have full screen Google Maps, which we also saw on the Motorola Razr phones a few years ago. We have full screen YouTube here, as you probably know already. And we also have full screen Netflix, WhatsApp, and a few other apps. But you can force more with a special Good Lock application, which I have yet to put to work on this screen. So yeah, there's that. You can also pinch it like this and view all the screens. And as I showed you before, you can use the camera for that purpose. And you can definitely tweak the experience from the settings by going to the cover screen section. You have here your beautiful cover screens, which, by the way, can be customized in more ways than you can imagine, including using your own photos and presets. And you can also tweak the widgets, which I just showed you before, the ones you can cycle between. There's double the amount of the previous phone. You can set the timeout, notifications, and quick responses. Now, aside from that, let's see what else we have here. The leftmost feed is for the news. The recents are like this and also provide a split screen feature. We have the edge bar, which also helps with, well, various features. You can have your floating window here, or you can split the screen in two, like this and like this. Just one example, and save your pair of apps for later use. This is the quick settings area. By the way, there's no DeX support here. We do have link to Windows though, and quick share. If you go to the settings, you'll be treated to modes and routines, which you can preset for various usage patterns and various ways of activating gadgets around the house. We have the connected device, very useful feature which came with One UI 5. Quick share, auto switch buttons, basically a way to connect to PCs, headphones, and more gadgets around the house, watches and TV sets, set-top boxes, vacuum cleaners, ovens, and more. Notifications, display, wallpaper, themes, which are very customizable, with wallpapers, icons, and so forth. Some of them for sale. Security and privacy, lock screen accounts, Find My Mobile, biometric, Samsung Pass, and Knox is here thrown in for good measure. Location, safety, accounts, advanced features, which include labs, multi-window for all apps, flex mode panel is available here. You can definitely open it up and get additional controls at the bottom of the screen. Okay, and Bixby and a one-hand mode are also here. Plus video call effects and dual messenger. You can add extra RAM by going here, activated the RAM Plus feature, up to 8 gigs extra taken from the internal storage. Auto optimization as well. Okay, that's about it settings wise, and the flex mode is, as I said before, here. So for the camera it happens like this, options at the bottom and viewfinder at the top. For the gallery it happens like this, you're in a photo, you do this, and you have your touchpad to switch between photos and edit them. Okay, in YouTube it's also available, so yeah, you can see the controls here, and the examples go on and on. So camera, YouTube, gallery, calendar, and you can force apps from settings to apply that. The pre-installed apps available here, or before that we actually have those beautiful widgets. We have stacked ones, we have 3D ones, we have large folders, we have all the goodies of this One UI. As I said before, apps. So Samsung apps include SmartThings, voice recorder, internet, Samsung Health, Wear, Wallet, AirZone. These are the Google apps, of course. We have Microsoft apps like Office, OneDrive, LinkedIn, Outlook, Play Store, members where you can try One UI 6, Galaxy Store, Facebook, Spotify, Calendar, and of course note-taking application is here. Even though it doesn't support a stylus, it's still nice enough to write using a keyboard or even your finger if need be. That's pretty much it. I'm not sure if I forgot anything, but once again, the fingerprint scanner is quite snappy, and now it's time for the verdict. Okay, so the pros and cons, the verdict. So, gapless design is obviously a pro. It's one of the comfiest foldable phones on the market, fits in any pocket or purse. It's got the brightest screen on the market right now, the foldable one here. Crazy 1200 lux units. It got IP certification for water. It's got the external Beagle panel with double the amount of features, with full screen apps and the ability to use a variety of widgets and take clearer shots, selfie shots with the main camera. Aside from that, we have a pretty solid camera here with upgrades for the night mode and for the videos, I feel. Excellent selfies and perfect stabilization. I also found the performance to be satisfying, the connectivity to be pretty fast, and the video playback time sufficient, I mean the battery life during video playback. And also there are some upgrades from the Flip 4 which I actually felt, especially in the camera department. The software is pretty much okay, flex mode is definitely a plus. Now on the cons, some throttling. Battery life in continuous usage is a bit underwhelming, and the charging is quite long. There's no charger in the box, there's no DeX mode supported, and there aren't that many full screen apps available on the cover screen. Some minor oversaturation here and there, and the audio was not very memorable. In the end, we are dealing with a very solid rival for the Oppo Find N2 Flip and the Motorola Razr 40 Ultra, but with a lesser battery. That's the problem. Lesser battery for continuous usage. Is the comfiest format on the market for a Flip? As I said, for the Fold, comfiest format on the market as well. It's one of the most potent phones and definitely the brightest phone. It's got a lot of things going for it, but be advised and look at the battery life when you purchase it. And look at the price. If the past is any indicator, it will go cheap very fast, as the Flip 3 and Flip 4 have done before it. Right now it's quite expensive for a Flip, so definitely wait for the price to drop a bit. If you're going to concerts and festivals often and holidays, you'll be happy with its camera for sure. It can even surprise you with the audio zoom and some of the captures. Now, it's not as multitasking oriented as the Fold, but it has become more unisex now, not as tailored to the feminine market as its predecessors were. That's it from us, from jsno.com. Goodbye.